Central Virginia's longest-running high school academic quiz show. Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan. And now, host Cheryl Miller.
Hello and good morning. Thanks for joining us for Battle of the Brains. I'm Cheryl Miller. We're in round one of gameplay for this new season, and as with a lot of things these days, we've had to make some changes to the way our academic challenge is played due to the pandemic. Our competition, though, still welcomes teams from schools all across the Commonwealth of Virginia, but they're joining us remotely. Today's teams are the Saints of St. Christopher School, coached by Alina Shahutsky. Founded 110 years ago, St. Christopher's is a college preparatory school for boys. Located in Richmond, the school puts emphasis on its honor code and on the importance of community, as well as educating the whole boy. A team from St. Christopher's won Battle of the Brains last season, so they are the defending champions. Also with us remotely today, the Pointers of West Point High School, coached by Justin Camacho. West Point High School is in King William County. The four-year public school has been noted as a National Blue Ribbon School in the past for its standards of excellence. The school district was recently recognized by the Virginia Department of Education as one of the school divisions of innovation. Since we all can't be together here in our studio, here's how gameplay has changed. We'll have toss-up rounds with questions directed to each team. The first answer from a team is the accepted answer. In case of multiple responses, the host and judges will determine who answered first. Plus, new this year, we've got some Virginia-based video questions from the Brainy Bunch. All right, let's start our first toss-up round. It goes to St. Christopher's School. Its average value in a DC circuit is the product of the voltage and current. Name this quantity of energy expended or work done per unit time that is measured in watts. Kevin.
Power.
Power is correct. West Point, what two Virginia football teams would you be watching if it were a game between the Dukes and the Spiders? Lindsay.
JMU and the University of Richmond.
That is correct. St. Christopher's. Beauty is truth, truth beauty. That is all ye know on earth and all ye need to know. Name the British poet who wrote Ode on a Grecian Urn. Kevin.
Keats.
John Keats is correct. West Point. Inside this building is a seated statue by Daniel Chester French. Its north and south walls are engraved with speeches from an 1863 cemetery dedication and its namesake's second inauguration. Name this Washington, D.C. memorial. Lindsay.
The Lincoln Memorial.
That is correct. St. Christopher's. Name the Virginian who became U.S. president upon the death of William Henry Harrison in 1841. And that would be John Tyler. West Point, you may need your pencil and paper for this one. Sally is 12 years old. Lucy is 2 times 1/2 of Sally's age. Mary is 3 years older than 1/3 of Lucy's age. How old is Mary? Brody.
13.
She's actually 7. All right, St. Christopher's, please watch the screen and listen closely. Here's your video question from a member of the Battle of the Brains Brainy Bunch.
With a population of over 450,000, what is Virginia's most populous city?
Kevin? Kevin?
Virginia Beach.
That is correct. West Point, known for their long beards, what is the name of the little old band from Texas whose songs like Gimme All Your Lovin', Legs, and Sharp Dressed Man helped to make them MTV stars in the 1980s? Lindsay.
ZZ Top.
That is correct. St. Christopher's. In the film Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1, Harry, Ron, and Hermione try to find and destroy the 7 pieces of Voldemort's soul. What are these 7 pieces collectively called? Kevin.
Horcruxes.
That is correct. West Point. In 1610, Galileo discovered Callisto, Io, Europa, and Ganymede, the 4 largest moons of which planet that is the largest in the solar system? Lindsay.
Jupiter.
Correct. St. Christopher's. What word, meaning to spur to action, comes from the name of Luigi Galvani, the Italian doctor who famously experimented with frogs and electric shock? Kevin.
Jolt.
That would be galvanize. West Point. The 1754 gathering had two purposes: to secure the support of the Iroquois against the French and to consider a plan of union for defense. Proposed by Benjamin Franklin, named this attempt to unite the colonies that convened in the present-day capital of New York State. Lindsay.
The First Continental Convention.
That is incorrect. It was the Albany Congress or Albany Convention. And that buzzer means the end of our first toss-up round. A good job by our team so far, but we've got a lot more questions to go. Up next, we'll meet today's players, and then they'll take on the category round here on Battle of the Brains. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan.
Here are the scores following the first toss-up round here on Battle of the Brains. St. Christopher's School with 40 points, West Point High School with 40 points. It is a tie match at this point. And we'll get back to our game just ahead, but first we want to introduce you to today's players. Let's start with our team from the reigning championship Battle of the Brains School from St. Christopher's School. They are the Saints. Their coach is Alina Shahutsky. Mason Carter is a senior. He is an Eagle Scout, a member of the varsity golf team, and it says his favorite subject is history. The captain for the team from St. Christopher's School is Kevin Alejandro, who is a senior. He's also an Eagle Scout. He enjoys snowboarding, and his favorite subjects are math and science. Nick Manitas is a junior. He's the assistant editor of the school's literary magazine, Hieroglyphic. He plays varsity tennis and enjoys writing and reading fiction. And wrapping up our team from St. Christopher's is Jack Mitchell. Jack is a senior who plays guitar in the jazz band. He enjoys playing golf and basketball and likes to fish and sail. That's our team from St. Christopher's School. Good to have you all here with us today. Now let's meet our team from West Point High School. They are the Pointers. Their coach is Justin Camacho. Mia Ware is a senior, plans to attend university after high school and study chemistry and pre-med. She's a member of the marching band where she's been for 4 years, and her hobbies include art and cooking. Our team captain is Lindsay Bartos, who is a senior, is a member of the high school chorus and show choir, and the Scholastic Bowl team has participated, she says, in many musicals and plans to study pre-pharmacy at William and Mary. Brody Locklear is a junior in band, and he plays the trumpet, baritone, and saxophone. He's lived in 6 different states and would like to attend the University of Michigan. And Eva Bayer is a senior. She plays guitar, is a photographer, and plans to go to VCU to study psychology. That's our West Point team joining us today here on Battle of the Brains. Now for our category round, where each team will select one 10-question category from today's choices. If a team gets all of its questions correct within the allotted time, they will receive a 20-point bonus. Teams, here are today's categories from which you may choose. They are homonyms, books of the Bible, and scientific Fs. And we do note that in this round, only the captains may officially answer for the team, though they may confer with their teammates to try to come up with the correct answers. The high score team usually gets first choice. In case of a tie, it's the team that got the last correct question. So that is West Point. So West Point, you will get first choice of category. Lindsay, quickly talk it over with your team. Let me know what category you would like to choose. And if you could unmute your microphone, Lindsay, please.
Okay. Yeah. So what do you guys want to do? What about the rest of us? Homonyms? You want
whatever.
homonyms?
decent at the
We would like to do homonyms.
All right, I'll give you 2 definitions. You provide the homonym. The first one is something debutantes have, or to cry.
Ball.
Correct. A tiny insect and a female relative.
Ant.
Correct. Latin word for thus or so, and deeply disturbed or ill.
Do you know? Deeply disturbed or ill. Pass.
That would be sick. Gunga Din was one, and a Scottish word for small animal.
We. No. What do you want to do? So, we.
That would be a beastie. Soldier's bivouac, or something that is ostentatious or banal.
Mia? Okay. Pass.
That would be camp. A thick, sweet substance and a term of endearment.
Honey. Honey.
That is correct. A lion is a large example, someone whom your father in his youth might have considered cool.
Cat.
And cat is correct. And we will not be able to finish that category due to lack of time. All right, St. Christopher's, books of the Bible or scientific F's. Kevin, talk it over with your teammates and let me know what category you'd like to play.
We'd like to play scientific F's.
All right, name these following F's that are related to science. The first is the ion with chemical symbol F-.
Fluoride.
Correct. Adjective describing a substance that burns in air.
Flammable.
Correct. Whip-like appendages used by cells for locomotion.
Flagella.
Correct. The opposite of fission.
Fusion.
Correct. The longest bone in the human body.
Femur.
Correct. An influence on an object that causes an acceleration.
Force.
Correct. A number that divides evenly into a larger number.
Factor.
Correct. Body appendages used by fish for movement.
Fin.
Correct. Number of oscillations per unit time.
Frequency, right? Yes. Frequency.
That is correct. And finally, point of balance in a system or the pivot on a lever.
Fulcrum, right? Fulcrum.
And that is correct. And a sweep of that category, a 20-point bonus for our team from St. Christopher's. Good job with the category round, team. Up next, another toss-up round here on Battle of the Brains still to come.
Welcome back to Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan.
Here are the scores following the category round here on Battle of the Brains. St. Christopher's School with 110 points, West Point High School with 60 points. And now it's back to Battle of the Brains with another toss-up round where, again, questions are being directed this season, team to team, alternating between them. And there are no point deductions for an incorrect answer. Players will indicate their desire to answer by raising their hand and waiting to be called upon. All right, our first question in this toss-up round goes to St. Christopher's. It is a guiding principle in matters of artistic beauty and taste. It's also the branch of philosophy that deals with the nature and expression of beauty, as in the fine arts. What is this term that describes those things that appeal to the senses? Mason.
Imagery.
It would be aesthetics. West Point. The only example in English is the. In Italian, they are il and la. In French, they are le and la. Give this type of adjective that refers to a specific thing. Brody.
Proper noun.
They would be definite articles. St. Christopher's, what element is represented on the periodic table by the symbol Pb? Kevin.
Lead.
That is correct. West Point, in programming, it refers to memory for temporarily storing input or output. Give this 6-letter word that also refers to a solution designed to resist changes in pH. Mia?
Buffer.
Buffer is correct. St. Christopher's. Elizabeth was 25 when her father, the king, died suddenly, February 6, 1952, and she became Queen of England. Name her father, who was the subject of the 2011 movie, The King's Speech. Mason.
Charles.
That is incorrect. It was King George VI, or Prince Albert of York, or the Duke of York. All right, West Point, please watch the screen and listen closely. Here's your Virginia-based video question from a member of the Battle of the Brains Brainy Bunch.
Jamestown, Yorktown, and what other city make up Virginia's historic triangle?
Brody?
Roanoke.
It would be Williamsburg.
William.
All right, St. Christopher's. Where was this famous 1969 quote made? That is one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Kevin.
The moon.
That is correct. West Point, he died in 2007 at the age of 82. Identify this host of a self-named TV talk show who is probably best known for creating the TV shows Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. Be Merv Griffin, who also wrote the Jeopardy theme. St. Christopher's. Her first husband, Daniel Custis, died in 1757. She later married a colonel in the Virginia Regiment and moved to Mount Vernon. Named this First Lady of the United States. Kevin.
Martha Washington.
Correct. West Point, Virginia has 11 members of the House of Representatives. What is the state's electoral vote? Lindsay.
13.
13 is correct. St. Christopher, Carlos Finlay and Virginia native Walter Reed confirmed that mosquitoes transmit the virus that causes the namesake jaundice of what colorful disease? Mason.
Yellow fever.
That is correct. West Point. If a man leaves from Norfolk International Airport at 7:15 a.m. on a 6-hour flight to Anchorage, Alaska to visit his brother, at what local time will the brother expect the incoming flight to land in Anchorage? Lindsay.
10:15.
It's actually 9:15 a.m. There's a 4-hour difference between the Eastern and Alaska time zones. Alaska's 4 hours behind. And that buzzer means one more toss-up round to come, and we'll have today's winner for you here on Battle of the Brains.
Welcome back to Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan.
And here are the scores as we head into the final round for you here on Battle of the Brains. St. Christopher's School with 150 points and West Point High School with 80 points. Now for this final toss-up round, the point score for a correct answer is doubled. There is no deduction for an incorrect answer. And again, in this virtual version of Battle of the Brains, we will direct questions to each team, alternating between teams, and no deduction for an incorrect answer. And now for the final toss-ups. We start with St. Christopher's School. Mountain climber Tenzing Norgay's greatest claim to fame was his conquest in 1953 with Edmund Hillary of what Asian mountain peak? Mason.
Mount Everest.
Correct. West Point, his famous works include serial paintings of Venice, the effects of sun and fog on Parliament in London, and the Rouen Cathedral at different times of day. He also painted scenes from his garden at Argenteuil. Name this painter of Impression Sunrise. Eva.
Claude Monet.
That is correct. St. Christopher's, the square root of the quantity 1 minus cosine squared x, the product of a tangent and cosine of x, the reciprocal of cosecant x. All of these expressions equal which basic trigonomic function? Mason.
Sine.
That is correct, the sine of x. West Point, what name is given to the awards annually given by the Hollywood Foreign Press Association for excellence in film and television? Lindsay.
The Golden Globes.
That is correct. St. Christopher's, Snowball and Napoleon in Animal Farm, Wilbur in Charlotte's Web, and Babe in the movie of the same name are all what kind of animal? Kevin.
Pigs.
That is correct. They are pigs. West Point, disfellowshipment is similar to excommunication in what faith that uses the New World Translation of the Bible and publishes the magazine The Watchtower? Eva.
Mormonism.
They would be Jehovah's Witnesses. St. Christopher's, like bees and flowers, associations between unlike organisms beneficial to both is a type of symbiosis known as what? Kevin.
Mutual.
The judge is saying no. It's actually mutualism. West Point High School. This man was commissioned by Manuel I to find Christian kingdom of the mythical Prester John. His first voyage in 1497 did what Bartholomew Dias failed to do a decade earlier. Named this Portuguese explorer the first to make a direct sea voyage to India. That would be Vasco da Gama. St. Christopher's, their name comes from a Malay word meaning man of the forest, perhaps because unlike most apes, they spend almost all of their lives in trees. Name these reddish-brown great apes found only on Borneo and Sumatra. Mason.
Orangutan.
That is correct. West Point, abysmal is a word that means extremely poor or bad. Hope you aren't that as we ask you to spell abysmal. Mia.
A B Y S S M A L.
Unfortunately, you added one S too many. It's ABYSMAL. St. Christopher's, you may need your pencil and paper. The major and minor axis of an ellipse with an area 48 are each decreased by a factor of 2. What is the ellipse's new area? Mason?
24.
That is incorrect. The answer we were looking for is 12. The area equals pi times the product of its semi-major and semi-minor axes. West Point, I will not get to that final question. That is the buzzer for the end of our game. While our judges double-check the final score, we do want to remind you how to stay connected with Battle of the Brains. To find out more about our show, just log on to battleofthebrains.net. You'll also find Battle of the Brains on Facebook and full episodes of our show on our YouTube page. And as we continue round 1 of our new season of Battle of the Brains, join us next week when we virtually welcome teams from Cave Spring High School of Roanoke and James River High School in Midlothian. Now here's the final score. West Point High School ends the match with 120 points. Great job today by Mia, Lindsay, Brody, and Eva. Thanks so much for joining us. And our winners today with a final score of 230 points, Battle of the Brains reigning champions, the team from St. Christopher's School. Great job today by Mason, Kevin, Nick, and Jack, and we will see you guys in the next round. I'm Cheryl Miller. Thanks for watching and playing along here on Battle of the Brains, and we'll see you back here next Saturday morning. Great job, teams.
Battle of the Brains, presented by Virginia 529 College Savings Plan.